What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel Kings TCG, and today I'm coming at you with a brand new deck profile. And I can't wait to show you guys this. We're talking about the Noble Knight deck profile. And the Noble Knight archetypes is one of the forgotten archetypes in my opinion. Because I play in locals, I play against friends, I play online, Master Duel, just name it, I play it, and I never ever played against Noble Knights. And that's, of course, it has some reasons, because Noble Knights is just, in my opinion, one of the forgotten archetypes, which is actually pretty good if you build it in the right way. And because I purchased a deck core of Noble Knight like a few years ago, I had some cards laying down, and I was looking at them and I was like, let's just make a good competitive deck out of these cards. And I really think that I did a great job. Did a lot of test building, changed my deck a couple of times after dueling. And I think I found the right balance, because consistency is important in this deck and also hard to find. But we did it, and we just built a really amazing deck which can compete against of course, not the top 0 tier decks, like Kastira, all that kind of stuff, Telemans. Of course, it is not likely for this archetype to win in these kind of duels, but you can play with it at your locals, at your tournaments, at Master Duel, and do a pretty good job, and that's what we want. So, really excited to show you guys this deck. It's a 41 card main deck, 15 cards in the extra deck, and it's just really fun. Just a really different deck than all the other decks, the way how it plays, how it functions, and I just can't wait. Also, before I start, I want to do a big shout out to this amazing playmat. Like, look at it. Shift it down a little bit, but 125th YCS Championship Series. This this playmat looks stunning. It's from 2013. Almost 10 years old, but with the Noble Knight Exeus there, the text right there, it's just an amazing playmat. And I especially bought it for this archetype. So without further ado, let's dive straight into this. And people, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button if you want to stay tuned for more videos like this. And also check out my Instagram page, KingsTCG, Loba Yu-Gi-Oh! Link is in the description down below. So for the Noble Knights, we play 3 copies of Noble Knight Madraw. This is just one of the main starters of the deck, main combo starters. Really important card. Have to play it with 3 copies. Same is for brothers. As you all know, your brothers never let you down, and that's really the case with these cards. Come up really handy. What this card does is when you normal summon this card, you can special summon up to 3 Noble Knights in your hand, which really helps you out a lot with consistency, and go into your links, Xyz, whatever you want. Then we play 3 copies of Noble Knight Kastanen. Can special summon himself while you have an equip spell on the field. So really good. And when you make an Xyz or link Noble Knight with Kastanen as material, you can normal summon 1 card in addition to your normal summon. So that's really good for the consistency as well. And then we play 2 copies of Ivan. And a lot of people play 1 copy, but I decided to play 2 copies because you have to special summon this card out of the effect of Madraw, and you cannot if you just draw this card. So when you have this card in your hand, by playing 2 copies, you just can continue your combo instead of breaking, for example. So that was that. Now we have some one-offs. 1 Guinevere, which is actually just an equip play spell in the form of a monster. We play 1 Boros, 1 Gwaine, 1 copy of Dristan, 1 copy of Black Lancelin, the level 5 card, which is important when you go into your higher Xyz plays. And we have one copy of Infernoble Knight Renard. You can see these cards are way darker than these. That's because of these are from the round table set. I don't know if you guys can remember it, but yeah, really cool. Then we have some hand traps. We play Enchantress of Avalon, 2 copies. And we have, of course, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, just generic good hand trap in almost every deck. But also this Enchantress of Avalon is just a really good card because, I will show it, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and a Noble Arms equip spell, and you always have that when you go first or go second, but this card really comes in handy where you go first, have your Ambot and leave this card in your hand. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, destroy 1 Noble Arms equip spell you control, and if you do, negate the activation. And the cool thing about this is that we have a lot of re-equipping equip spells. So when you destroy one of your own equip spells, you negate the activation and the equip spell just re-equips, so it's just like a pure negation. Really cool. And to end off with the monsters, we play 1 copy of Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. And this is one of the cards that I put it in later on, because one of the weak spots of this deck was that you didn't really have negates. You put on a really good Ambot, a lot of cool effects, but not really a negate. And with this Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, we just have that negate that we want to play this deck at a competitive level. So you can banish 1 equip spell from your field or grave and then special summon this card. If this card attacks, you can equip 1 face-up monster on the field to this card. So amazing, you can attack just a bigger monster with great effect, but before damage calculation, you equip it to this card as equip spell. So that's really cool to get rid of monsters. And then this card has a quick effect. When a monster effect is activated, you can send 1 face-up equip card you control to the grave, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's a negate and destroy, and you can also, to activate that effect, send that equip spell to the grave, which you, for example, you attack your opponent's monster, then you get that before damage calculation, you use your opponent's monster as an equip spell, and then to resolve his effect, you can send your opponent's monster to the grave, which is an equip spell, and then negate. So you can use your opponent's monster for that, which is absolutely insane, and it gives you that negate on the field, which is really important in the current metagame. So that was it for the monsters, and now we go to the really important part of this deck, the spell cards, the equip spells. And we have 1 copy of Noble Arms of Destiny, 1 Archetype, 1 Caliburn, 2 copies of Excalibur, 1 Gallatin, 1 Hauteclair, and 1 Clarent. So we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equip spells in this deck. And that's just the right balance in my opinion. A lot of spells are also searchable, so this is a good amount of equip spells. And these equip spells either give protection to your monsters, like Destiny, or they give attack bonuses, like Gallatin, which gives 1000 attack, or they give you additional effects like attack twice or attack directly. So yeah, that's just basically what these cards doing. And when you equip multiple of them to 1 monster, you just basically gets 1 really hard to beat monster. So yeah, that's just the way how this deck functions, how this deck plays, and that's really cool. At the end of this video, I will also give you guys some combos, just 1 or 2, so you have like a bit of an idea how to play. Which is one thing which is really important is that this equip spells exist, or you have just re-equip spells, and also just non-re-equipping spells. For example, Destiny is a card, when it's destroyed and sent to the grave, you can re-equip it and target a Noble Knight and equip it. You have also cards which cannot, like Excalibur, so if you destroy that one, it cannot be re-equipped. That's an important thing to remember while starting your combo, because when you need a re-equipping spell and you choose a non-re-equipping spell, then you cannot finish your combo and get stuck into your combos. So with that said, we continue. And we continue with the other spells. We have Heritage of the Chalice, 3 copies. And these cards are searchers. We have 2 copies of Glory of the Noble Knights, and we have 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army. And Heritage, this add 1 Noble Knight monster or Noble Arms spell, and that's just really good for consistency. Then we have also 2 copies of Glory of the Noble Knights, which target 1 Noble Knight monster you control and equip 1 equip spell from your deck to that monster. So these cards are just really important for when you draw and you just need 1 more combo piece, because this deck doesn't have 1 card combos. You always need at least 2 cards, and then these searches just come in really handy to give you that missing piece that you need. So really good cards. They are unmissable in this deck. Then to run off with these spells, we play 1 Double or Nothing and 1 Call by the Grave. And if we play Double or Nothing, you automatically know what we are going to play in the extra deck. But that's for later on. Now we have to run off with this main deck with 2 trap cards, and that's Until Noble Arms needed once again. So really, really good trap card for searching deeper into your deck and give you like that additional hand trap you need or whatever, but really, really good card. So guys, that was it for the main deck. Now let's go straight into the extra deck. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button if you want to stay tuned for more videos like this. And also check out my Instagram page, KingsTCG Loba Yu-Gi-Oh! Link is in the description down below. So let's dive straight into the extra deck. We have, let's see, 2 copies of Noble Knight Artegoras, the rank 5, one of the best Xyz in this entire deck. We have the rank 4 Artorigus, King of the Noble Knights, and then we have 2 copies of Kostanen, and these are the Noble Knights Xyz. And the good thing about these is that you can just like feel what's needed in the situation you're in. When you go second, it's better to like see in which situation you are. I mean, when you go first, you don't know which deck you are playing against. But all these cards have their effects. Like Kostanen can shuffle cards from the field back to the hand. This rank 4 pops back row, and this rank 4 pops a monster on the field. And also these cards can get equip spells out of the grave and equip them to himself, but you will see that in the combo video. But all 3 really good cards for this archetype. Really, really love them. Then of course we play the Utopia package. We have 1 Utopia double and 1 39 Utopia. Speak for itself. It just comes in really handy when sometimes you're just stuck in a situation that you cannot make your Link monster to go further into your combo, but get stuck with 2 level 4s. And then sometimes with this you just have enough to OTK them. But also deeper into your plays, this is just a really, really good card. Really good combo. And to run off with the Xyz, we play 1 copy of Zeus. And I know it, Noble Knights is just a really budget deck. Doesn't cost a lot of money to buy these cards, to buy this deck. But Zeus is one of the most expensive cards, especially from the extra deck. So if you feel like you just want to change this for every other Xyz, like an Abyss or Baguska, whatever, feel free to do so, but I just wanted to make this deck competitive as possible, and then you just have to play Zeus, because sometimes it just comes in really handy that it can blow a whole field, and you don't have the resources otherwise to do so, and then this card comes in really handy. So if you can play it, definitely play. But if you want to change it for another Xyz, be my guest. And then we go into the Link monsters. And of course, we play 2 copies of Isolde. Isolde is just really, really important. Without Isolde, you just cannot go into any of your plays. So you just have to play this one. Mostly, in most situations, you just have enough at 1 copy. But I just play 2 copies for make sure that when you need it, it's there. And just a really important card in this deck. And to run off with the links, we play Masquerina, Boral Sword Dragon, Borolo Dragon, and Access Code. And I know, guys, Access Code is also one of the more expensive cards in here. And if you want to change this for whatever Link monster you want to play, or another Xyz, for example, also feel free to do. And to be completely honest, these 4 Link monsters, you just won't use them a lot. Sometimes you just have whole locals or tournaments or whatever, and you just don't see them at all. But they can come in handy in certain situations, so that's why I put them in. And you know, there are a lot of people who just play a lot of rank 4s, like Baguska, that Abyss card, just every rank 4 you can play. A lot of people just play a lot of rank 4s. But in my opinion, those cards are just not there to win the duel, but more to extend the duel and wait for your loss. For example, you can make Baguska or whatever, but when you make Baguska, you just have a bad hand and you know eventually you're still gonna lose. So these cards are just way more impactful in my opinion. So that's why I choose these cards over just a bunch of random rank 4s that you can play in every deck. So that's why I do it. So guys, that was it for the main deck. For the extra deck, you have seen all the cards. But I still want to show you guys 1 or 2 combos. I want to show you guys 2 combos. To give you a bit of an insight, thought, like how I play this deck, how this deck functions, which ambush you can create. And from there on, you can just create your own playstyle. But then you have just like a little bit of a idea how this deck is played. So for the first combo, let's start with this combo tutorial. For the first combo, we need 2 cards. We need Madraw, and we need Noble Arms of Destiny or any other re-equipping spell card. But for this situation, I just choose Noble Arms of Destiny. So this is just a basic combo, which most of the cases I go into. And Madraw is also searchable. Like you play 3 copies of Madraw and you have 6 search cards, which are 9 copies. So 1 out of 4 that you draw into Madraw. So let's start. We normal summon Madraw and then activate Destiny to equip to Madraw. Activate Madraw's effect. Target Destiny. Special summon Ivan. And then this card goes to the grave. And because it's a re-equipping spell, you can equip it back to Ivan. And that's why it is important that you don't accidentally get a non-re-equipping spell. So it equips to Ivan, and when Ivan is equipped, it can summon a token. Then you can go into your link away these two for Isolde. Activate Isolde's effect to get a card from deck to your hand, but you cannot use or summon it this turn. But in most of the cases I will use Gearfried. Get Gearfried. Yep, there it is. That can come in handy in the following up turns. And then activate second effect to special summon a monster up to the number of equipped spells sent to the grave, with the same level. So we sent 4 cards. We choose Excalibur, Gallatin, and Offerture with Hauteclair. And the most important cards to have in your grave are Gallatin, Excalibur, and Destiny. But Destiny is already there, so we don't have to send. But these cards are absolutely the most important to have there. And then we can special summon a level 4, which is gonna be Custoner. This card doesn't really matter which card, but we have 3 copies of Custoner, so we can use one. Then we overlay this. And then you can choose, like, do I want to play a bit more safe? For example, then we use Kostanin. Because if Kostanin gets destroyed, you can make an Xyz like Autorigus and use him as material. So you can, like, play it a bit safe. But in most of the cases, you just want to overlay with the rank 4. Activate this effect, choose 3 equip spells and equip it from the grave. Destiny, Gallatin, and Excalibur, which leaves you with a really, really powerful monster because it has 2000 attack, gains 1000 attack bonus. So 3k, cannot be destroyed by Battle of Card effect once per turn, and it cannot be targeted. So it's really hard for your opponent to get over this monster. So that's that for the more basic combo, but as you can see, really fun and a really powerful ambot. Really like the way this deck functions. All right. And then I promise you guys to do a second combo, and that's an OTK. And a lot of people don't know that this deck can actually OTK, but it really can. So I just really want to show you guys how that's possible, because it doesn't come in very often that you come in that situation to do so, because you need 3 cards, that is Madraw, Kostanin, and a re-equipping spell. So let's say Destiny, for example. But you can actually OTK, and that's just really fun. And I also did it a couple of times, because also when you have these 2 cards, or just these 2 cards, or just these 2 cards, we have 5 searchers. No, we have 3 cards. Let's see. We have Heritage of the Chalice, which can get you one of these cards. So you can also search to come to these 3 cards. But let's check out the OTK. Really cool. We normal summon a draw, activate Destiny, it equips, and then we do the same as last time. Target. Let's search Ivan. No. Don't search Ivan, because that's not how you do it. Let's search Boros. Where did I put Boros? Should be here somewhere. Alright, we got it. Boros. Then this re-equips, goes to the grave, re-equips to Boros. And then Boros becomes a level 5 and gains the effect to reveal 3 cards. And that are 2 copies of Until Noble Arms Are Needed Again, 1 copy of Guinevere. And then your opponent just randomly chooses 1 that goes to your hand, the other 2 go to the grave. But it really doesn't matter which one. The combo will be exactly the same, but let's say it chooses this. These are going to the grave. You have this in your hand. Alright. Then you can special summon Castellan because you have Destiny on the field. What we're gonna do is we link Castellan and Madrop into Isolde. Then we're gonna activate Isolde's effect. Let's say we get you can go for Immortal Gearfree. You also can go for Brothers because can also become in handy. And then we send 5 cards from deck to grave, not just 4. So let's see. We do need Clarent. Yep, Clarent is important. Gallatin is important. Hooteclair is really important. And then let's see. We have 3, and then we just used Excalibur and Officer. But we go into an Xyz which can only equip 3. So you don't want to send all of them to the grave. You also want 1 of them in your hand, which is Caliburn. You keep 1 of those in your hand and keep it searchable for the follow-up play. So don't send them all. Now we did send 5 cards to the grave. And then we special summon the level 5 Black Lancelin. Then we activate Black Lancelin's effect to tribute the Isolde. And then we can search Caliburn. So that's why it's important to keep that one in your deck. Then we have 2 level 5s. And Boros is a level 5 because it's equipped. Then we equip this card with the rank 5 Sacred Noble Knight. And then it can choose 3 cards to equip to himself. And those cards are Hooteclair, Clarent, and Gallatin. It's important to choose exactly these 3 cards, otherwise the combo won't work. Then we activate the effect from Guinevere in hand, or in the grave, to equip it. And we equip Caliburn from the hand. So now we have a 2200 card on the field with 2200 attack. Gallatin gives it 1000, which gets to 32. This one gives 300, that's 35. And this one gives 500, which will be a total of 4000 attack points. Hooteclair has the effect that, let's see, you can, Hooteclair has the effect that the equipped monster can attack twice. You can target one face-up monster and it can make 2 attacks this turn. And Clarent is, you pay 500 life points and the equipped monster can attack directly. So, do you see what I mean? 4000 beat stick, can attack twice, can attack directly. So you can attack directly with whichever, it doesn't matter how many monsters your opponent has, you can just attack directly for 4k twice. So that's 8k and that's the OTK of this deck. So really, really cool to be just able to do that. A lot of people just don't know and don't find like the puzzle, like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. So this is the way how you can OTK with this deck. And it can come up. I did it by myself a few times in duels. But the only thing is like when your opponent has any response, it just doesn't come off anymore because it's just specifically 8K. So you just it has to go through, and then you have a really cool OTK. So guys, that was it for the deck profile. Noble Knights is just one of the forgotten archetypes, which I try to make a bit more popular with this deck profile, because it's a really cool deck, really worth playing it, especially on such a cool playmat, like, let's be honest. So yeah, as I said, really cool archetype, really cool to play, and it can do a lot of powerful things. Really cool how it functions with the equip spells, and yeah, I'm just a really fan of this deck. Really nice. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. Are there some things you would play different or change? I'm just always open for tips or your thoughts. Just feel free to comment. Also like this video, that would be absolutely amazing, and subscribe, because a lot of people who are watching are just not subscribed, and that's a bit unfortunate. It would be absolutely amazing to help growing the channel by subscribing. So guys, really happy that I could show you guys this deck profile, and as you all know it, join the gang, and I'd like to see you at the next video. Ciao!